Terror Train. Terror Train stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Hart Bochner, David Copperfield, and is directed by Roger Spottiswoode. So what's up, guys? We're in the middle of 31 Days of October. I'm watching a horror movie every single night, and so I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun if every now and then I do a review on one of those movies that I watch? I'm not gonna go all spooky astronauts on you and review every movie that I watch every day. That'd be crazy, right? But I thought, hey, I just watched Terror Train, and this is one that I've been planning on doing. It's fresh in my head, so I might as well go ahead and get a review out for you guys for that one. So Terror Train is really a revenge story. It's about this group of college students, and they play this prank on this kid, and the kid ends up getting really screwed up, going into a mental ward, and then 3 years later, all these killings start happening on this train. Now, the story behind Terror Train is really interesting because Roger Spottiswoode, he saw the movie Halloween and he saw the movie Silver Streak, and he thought, hey, why don't I make Halloween on a train? And he told that story to his wife, and his wife said that's a terrible idea. So he wrote down Terrible Train, and then the next morning he woke up and he had a name. He said, I'll call it Terror Train. And he really had an ace in the hole because he was able to get Jamie Lee Curtis herself to star in the movie. And by this time, she had already garnered the name Scream Queen because she had been in 2 Halloween movies. She had been in Prom Night. She had been in The Fog. So by this time, she was the Scream Queen. And that's a good segue into the first part of what I liked about this movie, and that is Jamie Lee Curtis. She holds this movie on her shoulders. She is the best actress in this movie. Hart Bochner, who would later be in Die Hard as another douchebag, because he always plays just a jerk in every movie that he does, he is also a capable actor. But everything below them, not as good. But like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis does a great job, especially in the third act. She always pulls out a great performance when she's going toe-to-toe with the killer. And Terror Train is no exception. And thank God for that third act, because everything before that is really just a slasher template. They took the slasher template and they followed it to a T, and they didn't really add anything fresh or interesting to the plate. This really fits in with every other slasher movie, and there are almost 100 of them at least that fall between 1978 and 1986, 87, whatever. But this one, to me, it doesn't really stand out, except for having Jamie Lee Curtis. If it didn't have Jamie Lee Curtis, then it would really be hurting. But also, I think Terror Train has the distinction of being that one slasher movie that points the finger at one guy and it ends up being that guy. They didn't really make this a whodunit. But there is kind of a reveal, and you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie at the end. So in a way, you know who the killer is, but they don't reveal him in the way that you would think. Another thing that hurts Terror Train really bad, I think, is that it is painfully dated. For some reason, Halloween and Friday the 13th, they get away with this. Yes, they are set in the, the 70s and 80s, but they still hold up today because they didn't stick their big toe too far into the timeline. You could really see these characters today, whereas in Terror Train, it looks painfully dated. It looks like an 80s movie all the way through to the hairstyles. But like I said, the third act's pretty good, so at the end of the day, I think you'll have a good time with this, especially if you're a slasher fan. And this really is the very definition of a humdrum movie. It really is. It's not great and it's not horrible. It's right down the middle. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on Terror Train? Looking forward to hearing them. Also, make sure you join the Killer Flicks Facebook group where we talk horror all day, every day. Like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, and Drumdum out.